Welcome to Fixing My Faith. Welcome to the channel. For 3 decades I was part of the Jehovah's Witness religion until I left. My departure, it was 2012. It took me nearly a decade to truly comprehend the depth of the indoctrination from the religion and its impact on my life. The journey wasn't easy. Bouts of frustration and anger, they're frequent companions. It's like having an open wound when you're being shunned, so it's very difficult. Upon introspection, I discovered that these emotions stemmed from internal conflicts caused by the religious doctrines. One such doctrine that deeply troubled me was the prohibition of medical procedures involving blood transfusions, a rule not decreed by God, but imposed by one particular religion, ExJW.org. This doctrine has had devastating consequences, costing innocent lives daily as they are sacrificed at the altar of Jehovah's Witnesses' governing body, those who control this group and its 8.5 million followers. Today, I have found purpose in using my voice to shed light on these high control measures enforced by the Watchtower organization. Your support, be it through liking or subscribing to our channel or directly supporting our work, is invaluable in spreading this awareness further, and thanks a lot. Help is on the way, and you can start by checking out ExJWfriends.com and look for some meetups in your area. And thank you for joining us on this exciting journey ahead. Bye for now. Welcome to the channel. So we're going to be talking today about some of the support that's available, and I think I'm going to open up with that. We're going to look at the Discord channel, and I'm going to pull that screen up for everyone. Now, there we go. Okay, so I didn't want to put that in the little intro, but the Discord channel's real important for ExJWs. It gives us a place to go that's not like Reddit, not like Quora, and some of these open communication platforms. It's closed. This is just ExJW friends in here. And when you land into the page, this is what it looks like. It's not a scary place. You just get in here, and you can go right down. You click in here and it'll open up. There's a whole list. You can't break anything in here. It's just you have to know where you want to go. So you get into the landing area. That's kind of where I go, and I create an invite just like that. I copy it. That's about as far as I go. But what I want to show you is there's some other features on here that I think are important, and it's right at the top. When you land in here, you hit events, and it pulls up the ExJW recovery program. And I'm going to zoom in here. There. This is kind of what it looks like. It's the recovery program. Now, I don't know. This is a little robot here. Maybe I can get rid of him. There, he's gone. Okay, so this is the events, ExJW Recovery Workbook. Healing is our goal. Join us in discovering a life free from cult indoctrination. Grab a cup of tea, your workbook, and you can get your workbook, I believe, on ExJW Diaries. We also show links for it in some of our other videos. But if you need a link to get that workbook, just let us know. We'll give you a link. It's free, and there's a couple of places. I think you can also get it on Avoid JW. So you get that workbook. We're going through. It's designed for ExJWs. And this just shows your our. So we have events in Sunday, April 7th, April 14th. So it looks like every Sunday at 9 a.m. you can join in on the group. Your picture isn't there, so it's private. Your voice, you can be heard, or you can just type in and talk. I'm not sure how it works. I haven't attended one, so this is kind of all brand new for me as well. Okay, so that's there's also English. You see, here's someone that's right there right now. Lucy's there. Looks like. So there's different people there on the Discord. Okay, so that's kind of it for the Discord. We invite everyone to take a look at it, and you know, especially for the ExJWs, it's a place that we can go when if we're leaving, even if we're in the organization, we're PMO, and we're wondering how to get out. It's a good place to go. There's a lot of people there that you can talk to. There's also a venting room. You know, it's nice to vent with people, rant or whatever. It's a healthy way of doing it. It is part of therapy. It is part of healing. So we encourage that. So I want to say hi to everyone today. Let me just change my screen here. And yeah, we already have 42 people on. Now we need 100 people to start the program. So let's get her rolling. We were on one, we're watching one live the other day, and the guy says, I need 1,000 people on before I start my program. And he did. He waited 30 minutes to start his program, and he got 1,000 people on. And so that's how some of these guys do it. We're not going to do that. We're just teasing you. I want to say hi to Ogent. I'm going to butcher everyone's names here for a little bit. Guys, you should post the 2024 Elders book urgently. Send us a link to it. We looked on a void. I didn't see it there. I know there's some changes. There's paperwork out on that, but yes, we would like to see that. K-Fred, good afternoon. Ricky, Bobby, Eric, nice to see you. Welcome. My good wife, welcome to the show. She's over there in the other room. She shuts the door on me. Dinah Lost, hello. Keith Jones, good evening. From the UK. And Fire Soul Rockers, the Old World of Arena. Hi all, hello. And San Diego Pimo, welcome back. The final countdown. It's near. I think we're on the final countdown. We're there, and we're going to talk about that. What's going on in France? It's quite interesting. France doesn't like this organization. Keith Jones. Now, who else did we know? We didn't say hi to Marmy. Hello to Quebec, to Marmy. And then we have Emmerich, a Jehovah-aholic. Yes, I think we all have been that, haven't we? And that's part of it. We got to recover. Marmy, hello. And then Leonardo, good evening. TOV, I don't know what that stands for. Tier 5, hello. And Abundance Create, cheers. Cheers. That must be the UK or Australia, maybe? Probably the UK. And we have Shand Shakiti. Hello. Marty, no shutting the door for 24. And Canadian Angelica. Hello, welcome to the show. Canadian, oh yeah, again, okay. Anglican, I'm sorry. See, I told you I'd butcher your names. Okay.
And, I told him he butchers, so he should just own it. It's now a new feature of this show.
Well, I'll never get it right. Billy Wanda Ferguson. That's quite the name. Welcome. Okay, we have a good show ahead of us, and the end is near for shunning. What are we saying there? Laws to help victims. It's really hard to sue JW.org. Who knows of people that are successful in suing them, and then how long does it take, and how many? Yeah, I think you have to have a lot of money, because as soon as you start the lawsuit, you have to have a lawyer, right? Of course, and they're going to take it all the way up to Supreme Court. So you have to have a lawyer that's willing to go all the way to Supreme Court.
And deal with 1,000 motions.
Yeah, and deal with 1,000 motions for this or for that. They'll deal with every kind of an emotion you can think of. And every emotion, lawyers don't care, because it just means more money for lawyers. JW.org, they know that's how they get things thrown out of court. And we covered that on some of our other videos on how they do it. And they admit it, that when they're fighting on blood and different things like that, they know that whoever they're fighting against, they have to have a lot of money. So the ones that are winning are the governments. The governments are going to fight. Norway fought, and Norway taxed their bill. They said, okay, you guys lost. You got to pay the legal fees. They appealed it, of course. They appealed Norway. It's going to go up the ladder to the, what are they appealing it? To the Supreme European Court, human rights. That's what they're going for. Okay, so why we showed everyone today about Discord is it's important to get onto this the channels. There's help channels all over the globe. We're going to look at Spain, France. We're not going to look at the association, but there is a ex-Jehovah's Witness association there, and they're popping up all over. They're in Japan, New Zealand, Australia, everywhere. These associations are popping up, and there's different forums and different communities reaching out to the Jehovah's Witness, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. It's estimated that there's about 1 million, and these guys actually print it. Let me just look at it here. I have it here in front of me. These guys are saying over 1 million disfellowshipped, shunned Jehovah's Witnesses are alive today. 10% of the active members are shunned Jehovah's Witnesses. Over 1 million. So we don't have 1 million people on any of these channels. I haven't seen these channels grow that large, so I haven't seen the 1 million people. And it doesn't mean that everyone's online looking at this stuff. So it all depends. Now, with 1 million people out there, that's a lot of people. We start adding that up. So what's happening is, like in Japan and all over, is rather than suing JW.org, which it costs a lot of money to sue, and in some cases, you get some legal firm that wants to take this on. They can, if you have a rock solid case. Maybe I haven't done any reporting on that. I haven't seen anything. So what I see happening is this has to go to more of the help the victims. That's the first stage, is helping the victims. So there's a lot of victims coming out of the religion, and we've ran some news articles on what's happening around the world. There seems to be a lot of terrorist attacks on the kingdom halls, and we're not sure. We're waiting on reports, of course. We're waiting on the shooting in Germany. We're waiting on the bombing in India. Now there's a bombing. There was a bomb in Austria, the car bomb. Not sure, but it looks to be like ex-members, shunning related. So now there's all kinds of investigations all over the earth. And this is not us that are online talking. This is because of all this violence happening. There was shootings in the Kingdom Hall, disagreements in the US. This is all within the last year. And they have a disagreement or something, and they pull a gun out and shoot the other guy in the Kingdom Hall. They had an iPad or something, blocked the bullet. They didn't die from it. So this is happening. This is real life. And then we have a guy out in the field service. He sent his family to the door, and they're gone to the door doing the door call, and some guy drives by and shoots him dead in the car. This is happening, folks. This is real. What's happening? It's not good. So this is causing a lot of people to leave, to wake up and say, what's happening? Shunning. This shunning is destroying people's lives. And it's like an open wound that never, ever gets closed. It festers. And with some people, that festering is not healthy. And especially if there's no platforms. Just a few years ago, there was no platforms for these people to cry out to talk to, no outlet. And even today, where we see these bombings and things are happening, the outlets are just starting to take place. It's just starting to happen. Yeah, so the help is on its way. It's just coming. And I think it's important for all of the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses out there, the million of you guys that are out there, is to get on to these platforms. And I think and also get our letters out to the parliaments, the members of parliaments. And that's a healthy way of venting. Let our member of parliament handle this. These guys are professionals, and they know how to take problems. If there's big problems within communities, they know how to take that to the government. And if the laws do not support the victims, because this is about the victims, the laws do actually support the victims, the human rights. You see, the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, the million of them that are being shunned, they have human rights. Some of these are children. Maybe they were children when they were shunned and they just stayed out. Now they're adults. I know of cases like that myself right here locally. Now, it's important that we...
They can't fix a problem that they don't know about.
Do you want to pull a chair up here and talk? My wife really would like to talk. I think she's just going to have to get onto the broadcast here. I can send you a code to cue right in here.
Point taken.
Okay. Any other pointers from the sidelines? That's all good? Okay. We're going to carry on here. I don't know what I'm talking about now. I lost my thought completely. I'm gone. What were we talking about? Hockey? The Oilers won. Did they win? I don't know. Okay. I know what I was talking about. Shunning. It's right behind me. The end is near for shunning. The laws are here to help the victims. And it's important that we get on the platforms as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. There's over a million of us on there. And I think the governments are going to look at these platforms and they're going to say, hey, there's a lot of people, a lot of victims out there. We have to do something. Right now on this platform, our Discord, it's relatively a new platform. There's under 100 members, but you can grow these things as large as you want. There are robots in there for language translation, although I do recommend that other platforms are set up in other countries, other languages, and that support happens within, there should be a Spanish, within languages anyways, it's a lot easier. But you can use the robots if you're another language, and I think they're set up for French and Spanish, which is a large part of North America. And that's how we set that one up. Now, the other thing that's taken place is ExJW friends, and I'm just going to clear my throat here. Just excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to take a look at this post here. This is interesting. I'm going to try to blow it up for you. And this is why people need help. Imagine this situation, folks. And I have imagined this. I've had my son when he was a baby in the hospital, and I was a JW. And we didn't agree with blood transfusions, and we let the hospital know. He was just an infant, couldn't just born. Thought he might have to have some issues. Unfortunately, he didn't. He's still alive. Listen to this. Here it is. So one time I had a Jehovah's Witness patient. This is a nurse. This is a nurse posting this. And she says her patients whose son was sick, anemic, and needed blood transfusion. Anemic is a blood disorder, if you're not aware of that. This family refused the blood transfusion because their religion does not support it. They all watched the little boy die. They all watched this little boy die. You see, I'm going to show you the Elders book, what it says here next. Okay, so months later, the same lady came in for surgery, the little boy's mom. The little boy's dead now, right? So months later, the mother came in for surgery and needed blood transfusion as well. After many talks, she agreed to take the blood. Did you get that? The mom agreed to take the blood transfusion. She says, this nurse says, my matron was so pained and had to refer her to another hospital. Like their hospital couldn't deal with this. They were so pained. The nurses had to watch that baby die as well. And when the mom came in a few months later, and she initially said, I'm not going to take blood. And then they said, well, you're going to die. And so then she said, okay, I'll take blood. And then that hospital was so pained over that, they said, you're going to have to go to another hospital. We can't support you. I read an article here a week or two ago where the doctors have to take therapy as they watch Jehovah's Witnesses die on the operating tables because they can help them. But this cult has brainwashed the members into believing that it's so wrong. We're going to take a look at this, folks, here. But this is what's going on. People are watching their kids die. He was too young to make decisions. Why allow your child to die because silly rules? Because he was too young to make the decisions. You see, this is what we're going to our members of parliament with. We're asking our members of parliament, why are we calling these groups charities and funding them? It's that simple. We already know this breaks human rights. All of us know this. So I guess our question as the people, why are our governments allowing this? You see, Norway is doing something, guys. Norway is doing something. And we have to relook at this whole freedom of religion things for allowing crimes like this to take place. Folks, this has to end. And we have to have a voice in it. We have to raise our voice. So this is what's going on. Let's look at this. You probably heard of this. ExJW Analyzer did a good video on this. It's a word called Pikesh Nefesh. Pika. I don't know if I'm saying it right. How do you say that? I thought I had it pulled up here. A video on it. Oh yeah, right here. Let's look at this video just briefly. Okay, I don't think you guys can hear that, right? I wasn't planning on showing a video, so I'm gonna have to represent it with audio. There we go. Turn the audio on. Okay, just play a little bit of this just so you understand. this Pakesh Nefesh. It's a Jewish principle that Jesus followed, and I'm just going to play a little bit of it, this video.
Through it, there are certain principles that you may start to pick up because they get referred to all the time. One of the big ones you may have heard is pikuach nefesh, the principle that places saving someone's life over all other religious obligations, even the most venerated and important ones. Shabbat and keeping kosher are precious commitments, and Jewish tradition always elevates human life above ritual. This idea is developed in the Mishnah.
Okay, I'm not going to get into it too fully here. But what this is the Jewish principle that Jesus was referring to when he shut the scribes and Pharisees down so many times, about putting the law above everything, right? The scribes and the Pharisees, that's what they were doing. This is the law. Now, on the Sabbath, when Jesus was in the house of the rulers of the Pharisees, this is from Luke. This, you can look at all the Bible scriptures, but there's a lot of examples. And he always told these guys, he says, well, who are you guys? Which one of you guys is going to let your son or your ox fall into the well on the Sabbath and not do anything about it? You see, he'd always shut them down because of this law, this Pakesh Nefesh. It's a Jewish law. It goes way back. But Jehovah's Witnesses don't follow that. They put death before life. You see, and nowhere in the Bible does it speak of that. The Jews didn't do that. Jesus certainly didn't do that, didn't teach that. And even the Apostle Paul, when he was talking about eating meat that was strangled, it could have blood in it, byproducts. He said, it's a matter of conscience in the marketplace. If a Jew's next to you and you're eating with them, you might want to consider that. But other than that, it's a matter of conscience. It's in a couple of places. So it's clear. We were fooled on this blood thing. We were fooled. It's never, ever death over life. And just like the example here we read on Reddit, with that nurse gave that example. The mother comes in a few months later and she couldn't stomach dying. She's a Jehovah's Witness, but she watched her son die. And you see, folks, this is why this has to stop. This is why our work is so important. And we got to get out there and we got to raise our voices. So that's what we're doing. What do we do here? We've invited our MP to look at some of this stuff. Here's what we sent them. We hopefully they're looking at their emails and they look at some of this stuff, because we will end up in front of their office, but we'll send them lots of letters. So we said here, dear MP, we're launching an awareness campaign to shed light on the detrimental effects of systemic shunning practiced by certain religious groups, particularly within the Jehovah's Witness community. And our goal is to educate the public and advocate for changes in legislation to protect children and minors who are affected by this harmful practice. And as part of the initiative, we would like to extend an invitation to our government officials to join us in addressing this critical issue and supporting the victims. We believe that it is crucial for our laws to reflect the need for safeguarding individuals against such forms of psychological harm. And for those who have been impacted by the practices of shunning within the Jehovah's Witness religion, we want to ensure that they have access to proper support and resources. So I don't know about you guys out there that are Jehovah's Witnesses, if you've checked what it cost. Like I asked my doctor for some therapy and it was $100 and some an hour here. I couldn't afford it. So you end up going home with an open wound. You can't fix it. You see, because today it's kind of just starting to get recognized that this is an issue within the Jehovah's Witness religion. People are coming out of there with broken minds. Our minds are not together. There's work to do, right? Okay, so that's what I sent to my MP. Hopefully they'll reply. I'll let you guys know on the channel if they do. This is an article on how religious shunning ruins lives, and I talk about it on my last 3 videos, but I'm just going to touch on it briefly here. Religious shunning, this is from Psychology Today, so the psychologists are certainly having to deal with this shunning problem. The medical industry is having to deal with it. It's not just the blood issue, it's a shunning issue too. And religious shunning is a social death penalty that results in long-term detrimental effects on mental health. The brain registers exclusion as physical pain that cuts deeper and lasts longer than let's say a flesh wound, that heals up. Ostracism instigates actions that thwart, where you're, I don't like the wording of that sentence, but anyways, we all have a need of belonging. We have this self-esteem. We have this meaning of existence. Well, as soon as you're shunned out of an organization, you lose all of that. It's really harmful. Long-term shunning is not good. You don't make if your kids are bad at home, you don't confine them to their bedroom for life, do you? If that doesn't work, you might seek other forms of help. You might talk to your family doctor, find out maybe it's something else. Maybe he's high on sugar or something. I don't know. But you see, people, they don't treat their own family that way, but yet we have this religion, this organization, it's structured and it's designed to shun. It is all designed about shunning. Fear. It's all about fear. So there's over 1 million disfellowshipped shunned Jehovah's Witnesses alive today. So this is all over shunning. It's widely practiced among Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, it talks about Amish, Orthodox Judaism, other places practice shunning. It's not like Jehovah's Witnesses. In fact, I can almost guarantee it. I don't know about Scientology, how that works. But the Amish, that's like the Hutterites here. It doesn't work like that. It's like if they did something wrong in these colonies, they just can't be part of the elders. I already asked. I did some special witnessing in these territories here in Canada. And I asked. And that's not how it works. They just can't attend the elders meetings, and it's all the males. If you're a baptized male Hutterite, you get to go to the elders meeting. But if you did something wrong, you can't go to that elders meeting. That's how it is. They're all elders kind of once they're baptized. And then they all have a vote. So it's not like there's a body of 3 elders. No, it's all the male heads in that organization get to vote on how they're going to deal with something. So it's different. And the persons that's being shunned, they're still living amongst everyone, visiting, talking, playing, working. They go to the church, They just can't attend the elders meeting. That's all. They can't vote because till they fix their ways or something, That's how that works. So that's how a lot of religions work. It's not like Jehovah's Witnesses where you're put in solitary confinement for life. That's how the Jehovah's Witness religion works. Okay, we're kind of moving around. So we covered the Pekef Nefesh. Did I say that right? Pekash Nefesh, something like that. And that's that Jewish saving a soul or saving a life is the principle. It goes over everything else. That the preservation of human life overrides virtually any other religious rule of Judaism. Saving life. But in Jehovah's Witness religion, they watch their kids die. And they make a blood card for it. And the organizations behind it, they have they have HLC committees. We're going to show that next. I'll pull that up. The blood book here. The blood book, this is their elders book. There you go, Shepherding the Flock. This is Shepherding the Flock book. This is the 2023 version. I just put in blood and we start clicking what comes up for blood. That's going backwards. So they have a whole section on this, medical matters. So newly baptized publishers, that's they want you having a blood card. A publisher with a minor child right here should be provided with an identity card. This is a blood card, in case you don't know. It's so they don't accept blood transfusions. It's a publisher identity card, and they right off the bat here they want the publisher to review prayerfully lesson 39 in the Enjoy Life Forever book, especially the video how to make healthcare decisions regarding blood, and explore that section. So it's all about blood and not taking it, and die, you die. They want you to die. That's what this religion's about, dying with blood. They call it the misuse of blood. How parents can protect their children from misuse of blood. You see what's happened here, folks, is JW.org is blood guilty. They have blood on their hands when we're talking about blood. Because Jesus and the whole Bible, the whole Jewish law, it's life over death. There's no law that supersedes life. So JW.org, they have an HLC member, that's Hospital Liaison Committee. They have a member. I went in for a heart. I woke up, there was some guy sitting in the corner. I didn't know who the hell he was, and he wouldn't talk to me. He just sat there, and they're nosy. So when you check yourself into the hospital, when they ask for religion, do not put Jehovah's Witnesses. Put nothing. Put you're not religious. You don't want the HLC in there. If you put Jehovah's Witnesses on your thing that you're religious or you belong to that cult, you will have an HLC in your hospital room. And it's all about blood. They get their noses in there. They got money. They'll spend money on suing hospitals, suing doctors. Here it is, Hospital Liaison Committee. The Hospital Liaison Committee, HLC, play a vital role in helping the medical and legal communities understand our legal position regarding blood transfusions. Who the hell is our religious position? It's not Bible-based. There's no biblical basis for this, Watchtower. This is the governing body's cult position to control people, and they want their people to die. They want parents putting the children on the altars and letting them die, watch them die. This is what this organization is about. This is why we are an activist. This is why we're against this. We're against Bitter Winter and their garbage that they pump out, and how they support this. Bitter Winter supports this kind of stuff. But this guy, Bitter Winter, he's the head of the Vampire Association. Yes, he is. And he's all over JW.org's site. And he's into blood in a different way. But he supports JW.org sacrificing their children. We just read the thing on what the nurse said. They have to deal with this stuff. So it has to stop. Where else do they talk about blood here? Newly baptized publishers, misuse of blood, the identity card. It's all about this identity card. Once a year, they hand these out at a meeting, and they all sign them, and they get the elders witnessing it, and it's all signed. Never ever have yours photocopied. Get rid of your blood cards, folks. Get rid of it, and because it's dangerous. It'll cost you your life. Okay, next. I go to the doctor, and I go in. I say I'd rather not have blood. Like, give me anything else but blood. I don't want other people's blood, but I don't want to die. So if I'm about to die, keep me alive. That's the deal. So that's all. They just use it to, if they have no other choice, and there's nothing else invented yet. And even JW.org is changing their mind on this every day. Now they allow different fractions and things where they didn't in the past. Now, willingly and unrepentant accepting blood. If someone willingly accepts a blood transfusion, perhaps because of being under pressure, a committee and not a judicial should obtain and determine the individual's attitude. And if he is repentant, the committee would provide spiritual assistance. So, folks, here it is. You go to the hospital and you almost die. You almost die, and you say at the last, okay, give me blood, and you live, right? Maybe you had the doctors tell you this is it, and then you take blood and you live. Then you got to come back and face the elders, and they're going to treat you like a criminal. That's what they're treating you like here. Look at that. They form a committee, and they're saying if he is repentant. So that means that you're guilty for living. Do you see how ass backwards this is, folks? Excuse the French, but I don't know how else to spell this. This is backwards. He wanted to save his life, but yet he has to be repentant for that action. That's backwards. That has to stop. It's in their elders book. This is how they look at it. The committee would provide spiritual assistance to make them repentant because they did something wrong. They accepted a medical treatment. They saved their life or their children's life. You'd probably get disfellowship for that. Since he is spiritually weak, we would not qualify him for special privileges. In some cases, they also may be necessary to remove other privileges. So now, if you're on literature or mics, they'll remove you from it. You'll be embarrassed. It will become known. They might not announce anything. They don't have to. Gossip travels. They all know you're in the hospital. You come back, and all of a sudden, you can no longer work at the literature counter. You lost that privilege. It's in a private meeting, but everyone knows you're humiliated for living, just for living. Backwards, man. This is a backwards organization. I was in it. Don't feel bad if you're in it, because I was in it for 30 years. It was backwards. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, let's move along here. That's in the anything else you guys want to know about in the Elders book while we have it out? I wanted to cover that bit on blood. Okay, we covered Pekash Nefesh. That means life over death. Jesus gave that example after example. Now, is shunning a form of bullying? This is another, I'll bring this one on the screen here. I sent out another email today to the Canadian Bullying Canada, standing by bullied youth and giving them a brighter future. So I sent these guys an email because this is what's going on, bullying. Youths in the organization are being bullied. So if you have these kinds of organizations in your communities, reach out to them, send them an email and tell them you're on their side. This is what you're working against. This is what we're working against, is being bullied. Shunning is a form of bullying. Shunning is a form of abuse. It is discrimination and silent bullying. That's what shunning is. The Jehovah's Witness shunning is. There's a lot on the websites talking about shunning, bullying in this manner. Shunning, its role in the workplace bullying. If you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're working for another Jehovah's Witness and you want to just, let's say the blood, we've been talking about this blood thing, and you don't agree with it. You see, you go into the elders meeting, they're saying if you're not repentant, well, if you're in the elders meeting and you're not repentant, you say, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with how putting death over life. It doesn't make sense. And you have this argument. You're going to be disfellowshipped. Guaranteed. They're strong in this blood. So you'd have to play dumb and play like you're play victim. And then be careful, because JW.org is going to sue your doctor. They're going to try to sue in behalf of you, and they're going to take it out of your hands. And you don't want to get shunned, so you're going to let them take it out of your hands. So be careful on how you spin that one. I would just be honest and say, I choose life over death. I follow Jesus. If my child's in the well and is going to die, I'm going to save my child. So that's what I choose. I'm not going to sign your blood cards, and I'm not going to have anything to do with your blood program. And at that point, you might as well talk about their shunning problem. It's another policy that's abused. It's bullying. It's not done lovingly. You see, they promote it, saying, well, we're allowed our freedom of religion. We're allowed to shun. And they've went to court here in Canada, and they bring up the Hutterites and the Mennonites and the Amish. They bring them up, and they say, well, all those guys shun. They're all allowed to shun. This is how they spin it in court. And it's different. It's not the same shunning. And they do have shunning. So I agree. If Jehovah's Witnesses have a member, and they're an elder, member and their elders, and they commit fornication, adultery, or something, they can't be a member and the elders. They're going to have to delete them. Are they going to shun them? Well, it depends what you call shunning. If you're used to sitting in on an elders meeting, like the Hutterites, they all get to sit in on the elders meeting, and you're now shunned by the elders. You can't sit in on the group of elders meetings no more. You see, that's a very low-level shunning, I think. It's not high level. That's how these other groups shun. They don't do it like Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses they call it's solitary confinement. It's bullying. It's not shunning. So I'm okay with the shunning, if they want to use shunning. If they have someone in the congregation that stands up and it's a threat to those around them, they have to be removed. The Bible says, remove that person from amongst you. You might get a restraining order, maybe. You might get the police involved. But you're not going to tell the person's families and stuff not to go and visit them. That's their conscience. That man came in, maybe he had a nervous breakdown or something. Maybe he said, look, I'm leaving the religion. I don't agree with the blood transfusions. I'm leaving. Maybe he's in an elders meeting. They say, well, we're going to disfellowship you, or we're going to have to do this, or we're going to remove you from here. And the guy gets upset, walks out, throws a big scene. Maybe he throws too big of a scene, and they might have to remove him for a while. But then to say that guy's children cannot talk to him, his wife can't talk to him, or let's say he moves out of his house, and the wife is there with the kids going to the meeting still. Now the elders are going to say, well, you guys can't talk to him. He's lives in another residence. The kids can't talk to him either. You see, they start imposing these shunning rules for various levels. Shunning can be a protection if there's a real big problem. But the way Jehovah's Witnesses do it is wrong. By enforcing it upon the other people. And then if you disobey the elders, you will get shunned yourself for disobeying. That's why it's wrong. It's wrong, and that's why we're going to continue on with this the fight that we're doing. Okay, we're going to move on. The next article that we're looking at is France. Now, this is just a little history on France. This is back in 2012. France was taxing Jehovah's Witnesses. Many of you might know that. And France had to repay Jehovah's Witnesses $8.3 million in illegal taxes. They took this up to court. They were paying a lot of taxes, like 60% on donations. France does not like Jehovah's Witnesses. So it all went to court, and the European court ruled that it was illegal, so they had to pay that money back. Okay, so what's happened next? Watchtower, they put an article out about France, so something else is happening there, and I'm going to look at this article here. The sectarian deviations, 2 former followers recount their slow and complex reconstruction. So France is coming at it from a different angle. On Tuesday, February 13th, the National Assembly examines a bill aimed at strengthening the fight against sectarian aberrations. In France, more than 500,000 people are affected, and thousands of victims in France are waiting for better support to rebuild their lives. So I find it interesting that they're talking about this just like a virus. 500,000 people are, well, affected, infected, affected, potatoes. I'm not good at English. It sounds the same, but they're affected, infected. It's like a virus. You get this Jehovah's Witness indoctrination inside you, it's a virus. And there's a whole process to get it out. Because if you don't get it out, what's happening, they're finding people are just leaving their estates, leaving everything to the organization. Let's say the kids leave, parents stay in. Well, the kids are disfellowshipped. They're disassociated. Same thing. They're shunned, not talked to. You can leave. You can't leave. You can come into the religion, but you can't leave. So you can study, you can get baptized, but then you decide, I'm not going to go for the blood thing, or I don't agree that the 144,000 is a limit in heaven. Heaven's was full a long time ago. This is all a joke. Any person with common sense is going to look at this religion and say it's a joke. You look at all the doctrines, you start breaking it apart. But the blood thing's the big one. No one's losing a life over this 104, the heaven miscalculation and all that stuff. But their blood doctrine, people are dying over that. And people are dying over the shunning. It's costing lives. It's costing a lot of problem. So in France, more than 500,000 people, 500,000 people are affected by these cults. And they talk about a couple here in France. There's a couple cults that the governments are targeting and looking at. Charlotte here, she was, that's another one. I'm going to go all the way down here. The New Acropolis is another cult. It's another one that people are getting into. Here it is, a rhinoceros. From her childhood among Jehovah's Witnesses, Charlotte claims to have witnessed and even suffered mistreatment. She was a Jehovah's Witness kid. Painful moments that would have been inflicted on her by members of the community, which she does not wish to discuss in detail. She says, I didn't understand the inconsistencies between the speeches I heard at the Kingdom Halls. And no one would answer her questions. It was like a broken record over and over again. Like if you go in and showed the argument I showed on blood to the elders, you get the broken record back. You get the elders' book. There's no scriptures. It's listen to the governing body. It's obey or be disciplined. For Charlotte, the divide occurred at the public school, in high school. She said, we studied the book Rhinoceros by Inociso, and reading it shocked me. In this book, the Romanian author denounces all forms of totalitarianism and dictatorship. And she says, I found myself in the character of Beranger with his questions about the absurdities of his world. And at the dawn of her 20s, she begins to shed her beliefs. So she says she would like to leave, but she can't. So here you got a kid going to school, in high school, realizing that she's in a cult, wants to leave, but you can't leave. How many kids are in that situation? Okay. Following the movement's directive, my parents did not want me to study, considered useless since the end of the world was near. So they didn't want her going to school, studying. The end is coming. She says, I worked in a young job, but all my social ties remained within the movement. First attempt to leave ended in failure and hospitalization. I was completely depressed, yet I needed to be with my family and the rest of the community. They were all that I had. Barely 2 years later, exclusion from the movement marked his departure. I started smoking at first in secret because it's strictly forbidden. Then I started having a kind of double life, partying, what seemed trivial or specific to young people is not considered as such by the community. My father found out and reported me. So here's dad found out he was partying and reported him to the elders. Denunciation strongly encouraged, according to her, among Jehovah's Witnesses, leads Charlotte to be presented to the judicial committee where the elders, the authorities of the group, sit. And there she was asked to repent of having smoked, which I did, to denounce other people with whom I had smoked. So they want you to tell on, who else did you smoke with? Which she also did, and I bitterly regret it still today. This should have allowed me to stay in the movement. That's what my father imagined anyways, but the committee reportedly demanded that she retract a statement about sexual assault when she was 15 by an influential member of the congregation, an elder, and she refused to do so and was expelled at the age 24. And in a statement written in March 2023, see folks, this is all brand new stuff, 2023 here. Jehovah's Witnesses deny conducting such an act, and when the elders are informed of child sex abuse, they fully comply with the laws. BS, right? Okay, well, that's that part on this from the France one. And what we're going to look at is what France, Jehovah's Witness submission to the UN Human Rights Committee. This is June to the 23rd of July, 2021. Okay, so the European Association of Jehovah's Witnesses is a charity. It's registered as a charity. And the activities of Jehovah's Witnesses in France go back to the end of the 19th century. They have, close to 300,000 people there in France, it says. I can make this bigger if you guys want to see it. Okay. There. On December 1995, the state's Anti-Sex Commission released its first report, Sex in France. Jehovah's Witnesses were the largest group named on the report. You see, folks, Jehovah's Witnesses have been called sects and cults by the world for a long time, but they really want to be a charity because when they're a charity, they get lots of money. Despite both rulings, there's an anti-sect report here. I'm not going to read all this stuff. Where are we here? Sex. Furthermore, on April 2021, the Le Monde, one of the most respected and widely read national newspapers in France, published an article quoting, what is it? What did they quote? She makes a direct reference to Jehovah's Witnesses as one of the major sects still alive, still active, along with the Order of the Solar Temple. You ever hear of that one, the Order of the Solar Temple? I haven't. The latter was notorious for a series of violent actions, murders, and mass suicides in multiple countries in the 80s. So that's what they're put up against. The slanderous misrepresentation not only affronts the religious feelings of almost 9 million Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide, but also casts shame on our confession. I don't think so. I think we have to put more pressure on Jehovah's Witnesses for their shunning. In these recent developments are all more shocking because during the past 30 years, the senior French administrative courts, they're going after Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, well, I can post those articles. So they're being looked at. Jehovah's Witnesses are being looked at in France. We ran a video. The police are looking in Spain. They're looking for these sects that are pulling money out of the people. They want to know. They want reports. There's emails available on some of our previous videos. So things are happening all over the world with this religion. So what else do we have here? I think that's about it. I don't have much for you today, but the end is near. Okay, so I want to run through this again on the Discord channel. I want to show people that. I think it's important to get into a community if you can. And it's a way of venting. This is what it looks like when you come in here. Discord might look something like this. Looks complicated maybe if you're not doing computers that much, but I think nowadays everyone's on chat lines, and these things are like it's normal. So you notice the first thing right here where my cursor is, that's the events. That's what I really want to show. And you can get in here and see the calendar for the ExJW recovery workbook. It's healing. And there's a couple of people running this, and they're doing it Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. And you can come in and get involved. So that's something to try out. You can come in and talk. Some people come in at night and they need to chat. We've seen that. You know, if it's a panic situation, you need to chat, you can come in and talk, and we've seen that. And there's people around. People are chatting. People are there for you. It's a community that's there for each other. We're growing together. We're learning together. We're learning that coming out of this organization is not as easy as one would think. I thought it was just kind of learn a few things and you move on, but there's actually quite a bit of stuff to unlearn and to get out of our system. And then if you're continually shunned, it's really tough, because there's, you know, you get a little older, you know, we're not in school anymore where you can make new friends. You know, that's easier. Or for some of us, we're not even in the work situation where you're going to work and meeting new people. You're not doing that, you know, so you kind of retire alone. It becomes a lonely kind of a thing. And it's hard. Some people like it. For some people, it's really tough. So the community's here for us. Yeah. What else do we want to say? What's sad is the ones who seem to be paying the price of the average rank and files, and they don't have a clue. And isn't that so true? Virginia. When I was a kid in Virginia, the JWs were hated in some areas. Some old dude pulled a shotgun on my family and said, "Get off my property." But now ExJWs are doing it. Really? And they're pulling out a shotgun and saying, "Get off of my property." I've seen that up here in Canada, even going out in the ministry where people pull a gun on you. Not as much up here, but farmers always have guns. You don't see any in Brampton. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been out in the streets looking. Like we don't drive anywhere in our community here. I've never seen Jehovah's Witnesses ever in this community. In fact, we were just talking to a guy the other day, and they live in the little community by the lake. They've never seen a Jehovah's Witness. We've seen Mormons walking around, but no Jehovah's Witnesses. Who else has a comment? Tier 5 says, "Now I just told the local congregation to do not call at my home." Yeah, we have to shun them now. Okay. If they're trying to get you back, they're going to try to get you back, is what's going on now. They have a little bit of a campaign on. Beverly, San Diego, I know, very sad. I used to be in the cult. Hard to change the thinking. It is. Okay, where are we here? Cayman says, stopping talking to us is very hard mentally. Thank you very much for helping us. Yes, we do our best. So yeah, it is. And thanks for putting your comment in, Cayman. It is tough. And so if you can get onto these Discord channels, the lives are good. Any of the ExJW, you get into the community. And the meetups now, Joe and Fran, I know, are making some travels in the US, but they have on Wednesday nights is a good place to meet up with some people if you can attend the Wednesday night program. And Joe and Fran run that, and you can get on anonymously, or you can show yourself if you want and talk, tell your story. And they have the ExJW friends, so they're arranging meetups where people can meet other ExJWs. No one's going to be judged, so that's the nice thing. Okay, bad enough baptizing children, but not letting them make the decision. Yes. Okay, who else wants to have their comment heard? What else do we have here? My father divorced my mom, who left. My sister lived with her when my father remarried. His wife and her kids are dollar holes, so it wasn't hard for me when they shunned me. I think I know what that means. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, that's what happens. Well, thanks for sharing your comment, Tier 5. What else do we have here? My old man wanted to be an elder and PO so bad he sacrificed his only son to do so. Isn't that the truth? All Jehovah's Witness males want to be an elder. It's because they brainwash you. If you're not an elder, if you're not reaching out to be an elder, you're a dirtbag. That's what they might as well just tell people that, because that's what they say. That's how I felt. You're a dirtbag. You're a low. If you're not reaching out, you're like not going to make it. You're not treated that well. There's a lot of judging that goes on in that organization. There shouldn't be. And I don't know if it's changed. That was in 2012 when I left. It was very judgmental. I couldn't handle it. Okay, well, we're going to probably shut the show down here pretty quick here. I'm going to head out. You're heading out? Okay. So am I. I'm going to head out too. Oh, we got a new member here today. Hopguard Homestead. Thank you. And Monica. Yeah, we have over 105 on today. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks for talking about this. I was baptized as a child, left the JW at age 17. I'm being shunned by all ExJW friends and also by my JW family. Shunning must end. It has to end. Thanks for posting that, Monica. Yeah, so Ruby Quinn is in today. Hi, Ruby, if I don't see your name here. But yeah, we have to work together, get our letters into our member of parliament, and get our voices out there. That's the only thing I can think of. I think that's the cheapest thing to do. To start hiring lawyers doesn't work. Lorraine E. left JW in 83. They ostracized my 2 girls. I'll never forgive them. You will know them by their love, where there's love. Lorraine E. Bruce, young congregates will fight shunning, as this generation are socially wired. They are huggers, tweeters, emailers, and chatters. They will speak up and speak to those who are shunned, soft shunned. Very, very good point, Bruce. I like that. I think the generation is changing. I think times are changing. I think it will die out, if nothing else. But I think with enough pressure on, did the White House get any government attention? I don't know. I haven't heard, but they registered it. We just keep doing it again. It'd be nice to get more people down. That's why they're looking at changing the time this year for the White House. So if you haven't seen it, we ran a video on that. There's a poll out or a survey out that BEFREE has, and they want to know what you guys think. Maybe September. September is the month of fighting violence or crimes or things like that. And maybe it's summer holidays. It's easier to go down to BEFREE, make it a little bit of a thing. So let BEFREE know, and they'll register that. But I think we have to keep the pressure on, and that's what's important. It's not good for the family. Even baptized, but still labeled an apostate and shunned. It's terrible. Okay. What else was I going to talk about? Usually I have lots to talk about. What do you guys want to talk about? I can stay on for a bit. So how would you like to spend the last few minutes here? Any questions from the audience? Planning. Who is in Canada? We're going to start this Canadian tour. So anybody in Canada, we're going to be going all across, is the plan at least at this point. We're hoping to start out with June 7th to make Saskatoon Assembly. And here, I got something to show you guys. What do I have? Let me get it up on my screen first, and then I'll show you what I'm working on. Right here, a banner. I'm working on a pop-up banner right now. And this is a 5-foot pop-up banner, something like that. And we'll just have it sit in front of the assembly with this banner. The big thing is we want to get out there, ExJWfriends.com. This is our catch. This is what apostates do, isn't it? Live your life with love. YouTube, fixing my faith. That's what we're going to do there. I think the thing to do at the assembly is to let the Jehovah's Witnesses or the kids that are going in to know that there's ExJW friends on the outside. Because the scary thing is if you leave, you're going to be shunned and you're all alone. So if you know that there's friends on the outside and there's a way of kind of still having a life. And most people are online. Most people live on their text messages and emails anyways. So they get involved, and it's a head start. I think it's a soft approach to this, rather than going in there and saying stop shunning or shun no more 2020. I don't think that's going to fly. I think until next time, live your life with love kind of a thing. I think that'll fly. What do you guys think in the audience? If you guys have any ideas, throw them in the comments. If you're good at graphics, make us something. But we just do it on Canva. It's so easy. You can make pretty well anything. You just need the idea. So that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to go across Canada, maybe pull up beside the cart witnessing, and they're doing their cart witnessing. Then we'll set up our little thing, ExJW Friends. And we don't even need cards because it's a website, right? You just go onto the website or you go onto YouTube. That's all you got to do. We're just going to stand there, smile. Maybe I'll put my hat on. There, I'll put my hat on if it's hot outside and sunny, and we'll just smile. And I wonder if we set up beside those carts, how long they would stay there. I don't know. We're not going to try to harass anybody, though, but we're going to advertise that there's meetups and there's ExJW friends all across Canada. We're also going to try to meet up with government, any politicians. We want to, the start of this whole campaign, and we're going to be sending some invites each week. We're going to have little discussions like we've had today about shunning and some of the effects of shunning. And we're hoping that our parliament, our members of parliament, will eventually come on. We'll keep sending them these letters. And before we leave on our campaign all across Canada, we are going to go and visit our member of parliament. A lot of times they'll come into our yard. We invited our member of parliament here, and they actually came to our yard with a camera guy and everything. That was just when we moved into the county. So they're pretty responsive as a rule, and they're pretty good to deal with. So get to know your member of parliament. They can be your best friend in helping to get your voice out there. And that's what's important, if you can. And sometimes that's hard to do. Maybe the first place is come on to the Discord, the private chats, get your voice out, maybe take a little bit of ExJW recovery, write your story out, whatever you have to do in the handbook. It's all good. And I recommend it for everyone. Okay, so that's kind of it. That's all we have for you today. We thank everyone for being with us, and you guys have been an excellent audience, a lot of comments, so that's really good. And any of these live chats are really an excellent place to be for us as a community. Pulls us closer together. So thanks again, and until next time, folks, keep living your life with love. So let's leave with a little bit of a dance, maybe. What do we have here? I just have the same dances. I really don't know. Here's what I was thinking. If we went in front of the parliament, maybe we should do something like this. Just our normal dance, right? That's the only dance I know how to do. I actually don't know any other dance. So, what's that? What did JM say? Oh, wow. Well, thank you, JM. Thank you very much. You know what? You've given us a lot of support. We really, really appreciate that. But, I don't know what else to do. It's the only thing I think I know how to do. Is maybe we just dance, just keep smiling, keep dancing. What if we played that music in front of the assembly hall, and we put up our little banner and we just kind of danced? We should try to have some fun with this. So we're looking for your comments. I think it's all about having a bit of fun. Let's have some fun. Let the Jehovah's Witness know that this being an apostate is not evil. We're not evil people. We've been misrepresented by the governing body. They've misrepresented a lot of stuff. And I think that's coming out, folks. I think we hang in there. We keep getting the word out, getting, all the creators out there getting a lot of videos out, I noticed. And that's really good because it's putting the pressure on, and it's going to keep the pressure on the governing body, and they will be forced to make changes, or they by taking this to the European Union, they may lose out a way bigger than they think, because they're rewriting laws in the world. because I don't think people want to allow religions to cover up crimes. It's that simple. We have no problems with freedom of religion. We have no problems with religions. There's lots of religions out there helping a lot of people. I drive around our community, our city. Heck, I went into a Catholic hospital, had my heart surgery done. I was in a Catholic hospital. They call it the Good Nuns, Grey Nuns Hospital. And they invest a lot into healthcare and helping seniors, senior homes, and so forth. We don't see that happening with Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't get involved in caring for anybody. It's just seems to be a printing organization that makes movies. If there's a hurricane, they need to fix their buildings. So they go down and they will help each other to an extent, I think. Not everyone gets help because we've read that, but to an extent they help. So there's not much really in the big scheme of things. Okay, well, let's close her down here. I think we'll do the we're going to make some new stuff here, but maybe you guys have some ideas for new stuff. We're open for ideas. We have what else do we have?
And also, the governing body is neither inspired nor infallible.
We have all kinds of clips. Okay, I'm just stalling. We're gonna head her out here, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna play the night talk ending. So until next time, folks, keep living your life with love. Bye for now.